Yeah,
Okay, that's better.
that was just in time.
I was like, why does it look like we're in somewhere else anyway?
Hey, folks, Lester and Jamie. Oh, Lester and Jamie here,
And Christmas.
along with Christmas, Trixie, Millie, Fiona, Stella, and Sadie. The only one I don't see is Ritzy.
She's still in bed.
So Ritzy is still in bed. But we're here. Good morning. Thank y'all for joining us. We are having coffee this morning, but problem is the coffee is cold, and I'm
It is
sure.
cold. It wasn't supposed to be cold.
No, we walked out with our coffee and our computer, ready to do a coffee alive with coffee this morning. We thought that would be fun, and
There was a surprise waiting for us. And it was a full-blown I can't say that. Shit show surprise.
too early for you, or
Yeah.
because of your teeth?
I think both. That was really hard for me to say.
Shit
That lady
show.
says I've never had a cup of coffee in my life.
Lady,
You're missing out on so many things.
life is short.
Yeah.
Life is short.
Have the coffee.
Have that cup of coffee.
Oh,
But you might want to try it flavored. Now, I can't drink. I don't like the taste of black coffee. Some people do. But I like to put creamers in mine, different flavored creamers. French vanilla is my favorite of flavors.
I like pretty
You do
much
all,
anything.
you know, if it's fall, you can do the whole pumpkin
I'm not
spice
gonna ever
thing.
do pumpkin. I will do mint though for Christmas. Oh my gosh, I forgot the name. My brain isn't working today. Anyway, yeah, I like caramels, chocolates, peppermints, vanilla,
Yeah.
all of that.
No, I'm a pretty simple guy. I don't really do all the different crazy flavors like that. Um, Now, don't get me wrong. When we had my mom got me for Christmas one year. It wasn't a cappuccino machine. What's that little thing I have? It's that little where you put the little tiny
A
cups,
Keurig.
huh?
A
A
Keurig.
Keurig. Did I say it right?
I think so.
A Keurig, and it had flavors. And so I experimented with a lot of different flavors of coffees. But no matter what the flavor, I still ended up going back at some point putting different creams. So I just kind of I don't really care for the heavy stuff at all.
The heavy stuff.
The heavy stuff. But you want to tell me about our surprise or what was waiting for us this
All
morning?
I know is Lester goes, I'll pour the coffee and I'll meet you outside, which is usually like I'm still getting my boots on and my jacket and I'm throwing a little laundry and doing all the things. He comes back in and I thought that I was like, I really wasn't slow today. Like I was moving along. I'm putting my second boot on. He goes, don't come out here. Don't even look out here.
Yeah, I already
Which
walked out.
makes
Don't
me-
come outside. Do not come out that door.
Which makes me come out the door only to find a couple of 9-footers out here in my garden. First thing.
9-footers. Yeah, our birds had gotten out. Carl and Tat have been really going at it lately. And if they ever find themselves in the same pasture, we try to keep them separated. But on occasion, with the goats moving through here and there, they'll sometimes find themselves together. And at first, it may be okay. But at some point, they start to running each other. Like you may see roosters do, or when dogs chase, and it can get pretty rough.
Yeah,
but,
when they're 9 foot tall, then they take all of the 8 acres that they have in pasture to run after it. It's still like
yeah. Well, someone ended up hitting my gate and knocking the latch of the gate. So here's like I'm just trying to illustrate. So here's the latch system, and this pin pulls through and it clinks between them. And so that's the way it stays latched. I can either lift this side and open this way, or I can lift this side and open this way. It's a really amazing latch system that one of you gifted us with, actually. It's been a while back. Problem is, though, what happens is sometimes if you push it hard enough, the bolt that holds this pin can just spin. And it spun it, and the gate could open, and it did.
And it did.
And so all of the birds were out in the yard. And don't forget, Carl's not the happiest of moods right now for whatever reason. So yeah, we had to wrangle a couple of big male ostriches back into their pasture this morning before coffee. While our coffee sat here, now it's cold. Still good.
I'm drinking it fast. It's not cold. It's just lukewarm now.
Well, how about I go get the coffee and I just kind of tap
You're
it,
gonna top it
top
off.
it off. Yeah, I'll be
Okay.
right back. Excuse me, girls.
So funny thing about Lester saying, "Don't come out, don't come out." I can't just like stand there and the cards unfold and let him die on his own. No, I have to come out. Number one, I'm going to video it because, that would be epic to see. I'm kidding. He videoed it himself. But I knew that I had to grab a stick that was taller because that's how you create dominance in the ostrich world. Bigger is power. So I grabbed my mop. And I rolled out, and Lester's like, "Don't rush them up on me." So I had to hold the stick just a little bit above. I couldn't go as tall as I couldn't hold the mop up as tall as I wanted to get everybody back in, because there had to be a strategy, because there were goats out also, of course, because yay, goats. But it was an adventure. And then we got the first two in, and Lester goes, "I think that was Tat because it went too easy."
Yeah, we thought we got the hardest part out of the way.
Yeah.
But it went so smooth. I'm like, oh no.
Yeah.
Because we can't tell who's Tat and who's Carl unless you see them side by side. When they're right next to each other, you can tell. But when they're separated, you don't know. It's kind of funny, but I just like the one, if it comes at me and tries to kill me, it's Carl. If he seems to be pretty gentle, then it's Tat.
For no other reason other than Carl's hormones are probably way more intense than Tat. Tat's almost 2 years old. So yeah. I would think
Mother's Day he'll be 2 years.
Yeah. So just a interesting start to the day is all.
Let's hope it slows down from here. Sheesh, that was a lot going on for not even 9 o'clock yet. Yeah. Right. Anyway, I think that I come up with a really great idea for your next question of the day that you like to do. People's favorite coffee flavors. Because when we were talking about it, while you were talking, I could see a whole ton of flavors, some that you didn't even mention. And I I had no idea. And supposedly there's Dr. Pepper flavored coffee.
No, there's not.
I don't want any. Please don't send any. I kind of like what I got going here. I kind of like
even
what I got going here.
If we've gone on vacation or stayed in a hotel, if they don't have French vanilla creamer, he's like, "I'll just pass." And I'm like, "There's so many other great things.
No,
let me put caramel in it for you. Let me sweeten
hazelnut or caramel."
Yeah.
I'm like, no, I just will have a Dr. Pepper, and so I'm still fine. It's not like I'm missing out. It's just I'm going to say this, and this may not make any sense to you, and I might need help putting it into the right words, but I kind of feel like what's better than this coffee is the routine of us having coffee. If that makes any sense to you. Because I'm not going to say I wake up and I need this. But in a kind of a weird way, and I know this is not very Longhorn Lesterish, but when I wake up, I need this.
Yeah.
But this kind of goes along with this, because we would probably not be having this if we were having these.
Remember a time where you decided not to have coffee and how weird it was? Because I was like, I'm still having coffee because I'm a both kind of girl. I'm going to go ahead and need this and this at the same time.
So for the lady who keeps saying it's foggy and blurry.
It's the camera.
It might be the camera.
Hold on. Let me see if I can.
Or it could be just a foggy and blurry morning.
That better? It's a little bit better. The thing is the camera on this computer, there's no actual edge to grab onto. So when you open up the camera, you open up the computer, the thumb goes right on it. So sometimes it gets a little thumbprint.
Yeah.
So
no, because I know that
that's how we make our own filters around here without using filters. We just put a smudge over the camera.
Yeah. Talking about the coffee and the routine, the routine of having coffee with your person, your partner, because on the days that you travel, I don't wake up and make coffee.
Yeah.
I will drink coffee if I need a quick pick me up or a boost.
See, I don't even feel caffeine anymore from coffee, sadly. Like that, I've become like how do you say that? Whenever it like my tolerance, I have a high tolerance, I guess, for coffee now.
So it would take a whole lot of coffee to give you the same boost that you get from your other
Like if I
energy
drink an
drinks.
energy drink or something, I feel much more energized. Coffee for me is a warm up in the morning. Like maybe it's a mental warm up where my brain is getting in, and then of course it's our conversation, our time together. But I don't not drink it in the summertime either. So I don't know. Coffee is a thing for me. But you're right. Whenever I go out of town, like I had some with my mom,
Hi, sweetie.
because that's her routine as well. Of course, she starts at like 3:30 in the morning. I
Oh,
would not do
gosh, no.
that. But I usually, like if I'm traveling like for work in a hotel, like I don't typically have coffee then
No.
either because there's no time.
Yeah. Anyway, well, here's to coffee with Jamie. You all.
Yeah.
I can't stand the smell of anything coffee flavored, says somebody. Well, I enjoy it.
I used to think that when I was a kid, like
Yeah, when I was little, I didn't like it either.
my parents are big coffee drinkers and smokers. So like to me, coffee breath included cigarette breath. And I never thought I've never smoked a cigarette in my life. So that was a huge like gross out to me. And coffee was a gross out to me until I was 23 and I was working 3 jobs, and everybody at my doctor's office job drank coffee, and I was like, I was exhausted. So I started, and it was cold in the morning. We started at 6 a.m. I would have to leave my house by about 4:30 to get there. And I would get there, and to warm up, I would hold coffee and drink coffee. And I spruced it up then. Like that was like pretty much coffee flavored sugar and cream. But
so it's more sugar and cream with add coffee.
it was then. Now it's not anymore. I can drink black coffee if I need to. But just interesting. When did you have your first cup of coffee? Oh, wait. Hold on. I have one before you answer that. As a kid, though, my grandma taught us to dip cookies in our coffee.
Oh, no.
As well. And for that brought the sweetness down for me a little bit. And I really liked that. Sorry. When did you have your first cup of coffee?
Susan Collins, 70 years old, and never had a taste of coffee.
Susan, I challenge you to taste some coffee this year.
Put it on your bucket list.
Yes.
To do it in
and tell us how it went.
Lester and Jamie, and tell us how it went. But if I were you, I would flavor it up good. You don't want your first taste of coffee.
You could just put some French vanilla creamer in it for us. And
going back to your talking about you've never smoked and all that. Whenever you dated anyone that smoked, would it gross you out, like to kiss them or to be close to them? Because coffee and cigarettes, I believe both of them do leave. Well, everyone knows that coffee can affect, the color of your teeth. Mm-hmm. Cigarette smoking can do probably similar, but it also leaves a taste or a mm-hmm. smell. You can smell a smoker's from their hands, mm-hmm. and obviously if you get close to them, you can smell the breath. Coffee too, from the breath, obviously. But did you ever date anyone that smoked? Because I would sometimes, if I met somebody who I did not realize they smoked, and as soon as I got close enough to smell that, there was something in my mind was a shut down. It was just like a shutdown. I wouldn't be mean, but I could tell from then on, this is not my thing.
So earlier years, I guess it didn't bother me as much. Nobody I ever dated smoked in the house or anything like that. And some even just smoked when they drank. And so I wasn't around it as much, but let's see here. I had 2 relationships that didn't smoke when we met, but had been quitters before and then started back up at some point in time in our relationship. And then it really annoyed me.
I would not admit that. You drove them to falling off the wagon.
Probably.
You drove them to falling off.
I probably did.
You should never admit that story.
I'm just saying, it's true. But, in my younger days, I also bartended at a bar that you could smoke in.
Yeah.
So, And I never realized until I stopped that job of how bad it made me feel. So all those years of getting up the next day to go to work and needing that coffee was a lot because I got no oxygen. Because that bar was in a basement.
Yeah. Oh, boy.
It was in the basement of the Legion Hall.
Yeah.
No windows.
No
nothing,
ventilation. Yeah.
Nothing whatsoever. So.
Now, so I've never actually smoked, but we puffed plenty of cigars.
Yeah, I've seen you puff a cigar.
Yeah, puffing cigars. I don't know. There's just like to inhale the smoke of a cigar. I would never be able to do that. I've never tried, but I would. That part of the smoking doesn't. But for some reason, just when you want to me, this is not you. I've never seen you puff a cigar, but there's something about just when I want to relax and just puffing a cigar. Just
really,
I love the smell of certain cigars. The smoke of a cigar to me smells different than the smoke of a cigarette. I think so.
Yeah, it
and
does.
So now I will say that just puffing the cigar, and every man wants to try to puff it and try to pop out those little rings. I can't do all of that.
Nobody needs to screenshot that moment. Please do not.
No, don't. No, but puffing a cigar, I don't know. This may be a man thing. I can't see the comments really, but I don't know if there's any other men. I like the puff of the cigar. I don't know, Jamie. It really makes me feel weird even saying it now. I just like the. Now I should probably just go back. Can we just delete the? Can you all just like? I don't know why that made me blush.
My grandfather smoked a pipe in the house and then eventually smoked it outside. But the smell of that is very nostalgic to me.
Yes.
And he would also smoke Swisher Sweets cigars. Like if he went somewhere, he would only smoke a pipe at home, but out and about, like if it was a birthday party or things like that, like he would smoke a cigar. And those scents are very nostalgic to me, but very different from cigarette smoke. And I know now people vape and like all kinds of things. So it's very different. And we're not knocking anyone that does any of those
we don't
things.
care, y'all. We don't. I hope that y'all don't think that we're knocking, because there's some folks that don't drink coffee, and I don't take that as like you knocking on us for that.
I kind of take that as actually.
You don't drink coffee, well, we're not going to be friends. Yeah. Forget it.
I'm sorry, I can't understand that type of negativity. Like,
no, y'all, we don't care. We said it before.
Oh my gosh, Xander's FaceTiming me.
Okay, go ahead.
Sorry, y'all. Hold on a second.
We've said this before.
Hey.
Do I hear another goat? Okay. You got to walk further away, babe. You have to, even though, so this is interesting, but if you think about it, I'm trying to once again find the words. It doesn't really matter to us your stance on all of the things that so many people take great offense to. I'm certain, I know for a fact it bothers a lot of you so much more on some of the positions that I take. The fact that I don't go to church, I've stopped going to church. I know it bothers you. It worries you for my soul. It worries you for a lot of things because you express that to me. But I hope, but the thing is, it doesn't. I don't really know where I'm going with this, but it doesn't bother us who you vote for or if you choose not to vote. It doesn't bother us if you go to church or if you don't, or if you go to any kind of different types of church or religion. We don't care. We've all come together over something pretty powerful in the fact of we find a peace and a solitude in the presence of animals and with each other. And many of us have things that have brought us together in the form of, we always say, we're all survivors of something. We're all overcomers. We've all had to push through some type of life's adversity. And that can come in so many different shapes and forms, guys, and divorce and finances and loss, health issues. My God, you just relationship woes. Did we already say that? And listen, we push on and we find a happy place here for the most of us. But no, I really, like Jamie said, we don't judge. We're not going to judge you and hope that you don't take offense to us. Um, Sometimes, if you think about it, sometimes a whole lot of a person's who they are, who makes them up, is where they were born, where they're raised, and the things around them. It's like you can't take the accent out of a Southerner. You can easily tell someone from the UK compared to someone from the Americas. I mean, it's just from the things that we pick up, the way that we present ourselves, the way that we speak, the things that are our norms. And so to us, none of those things should define how we feel about each other. So that kind of goes a whole lot deeper too.
Sorry. Xander's dogs had surgery 2 days ago. And
Let me add one
oh,
thing before
sorry.
you go. I think that the best word to put it is there's a chemical, there's something, there's a chemistry that we share that bring us together. And if that chemistry was not there, that chemistry doesn't matter the politics or the religion or the skin color or all of those different things that are dividing us. That chemistry that we share has nothing to do with any of those external factors. Our coffee breath or smoker breath or cigar puffing or anything else, that doesn't define us and that doesn't determine if we are friends or not. Does that make any sense to you whatsoever?
Yeah.
Whoo, because that was just going
That was
off.
a lot for a Sunday morning there.
I'm glad you came back when you did because I was starting to ramble. I could feel it and I was like, Lester, shut it up. Lester, shut your pie hole. And I just couldn't stop. So what's going on with Xander and his dogs?
So
This is a funny story. I don't know if you can tell the one that you told me this morning. Xander called her very early. He'd woken up to give. He had both of his dogs had neutered.
Both of them got neutered on Friday, but then one of them had 2 tumors removed as well.
So he has painkillers for both dogs, right? So he woke up to feed his dogs the painkiller, but one dog coughed the painkiller up. The other dog ate it. So now one dog has had 2 doses of painkillers, and Xander was panicked. He did not want to overdose his dog. All right, now go ahead and tell your part of the story.
Oh, so I was just gonna say they had surgery and the, they're pretty active dogs anyway, but they're doing the licking thing and the cone things. We're making them more aggressive, and they're just kind of going through like a lot. And he just called and he's like, "Is this wound open? Did they lick this wound open?" Like, he's like, "All I did was go to the bathroom. Tell me it's not open." I'm like, "It's okay. It needs to drain." I'm like trying to tell him like not to panic. He's like, "Why is it so red?" I'm like, they cut the skin. It's gonna be red. Like, so it's been a rough weekend for Kendra and Xander, and I feel so bad for them because they have 2 very active dogs who are it's cold and wet and nasty outside. So one of them's got surgery on its foot and its head and its man parts, and then the other one that just had the man parts is the younger one who is like super active and wanting the other one to get up and play, and which makes that one aggressive because he doesn't feel good. I'm just like, maybe one of y'all should take one in one room and one in the other room and just take a break from each other for a little bit.
Here we are giving animal advice. I don't think that you and I are the ones to give anybody.
He called for it. He must think that I know something. I'm just like,
well, we have him fooled. We sure have that boy fooled. I took my kids out yesterday. We went to eat at IHOP, which happens to be one of their favorite restaurants. And when you can find a restaurant to make both of your kids happy. And so we took them to IHOP. Connor went along with us. So we had a car full, went to IHOP to eat. And then we went from there over to that place we've been going to play pool a lot. Yeah, pool, like shooting pool. So Jamie started all of this. She got Lex a miniature pool table for Christmas. I mean, it was cheap.
Hold on. It was one of those 4-in-1 things where I really thought that we would be spending a lot of time playing ping pong, air hockey. It had pool, and then one other thing. What was the other thing?
Foosball.
Oh, foosball. Yeah.
So the only game Lex wanted to play out of all of those games, all of those 4 choices, was pool. So we sit around for several of the days during the holidays, Christmas, playing miniature pool. Ellie played, Lex played. We had tournaments. It was cute. Well, that was until Jamie and I took the boys to a place called the Main Event, which is a big game room. But over in one section of the game room, the bar, they have some pool tables. Well, Lex saw the pool table, and all of a sudden he had no interest in those video games and all the things with all the tokens, and he had no interest. He wanted to go play pool on the real size pool table. So we found ourselves playing pool. And then the next time that we got Lex, he wanted to go play pool. So it's like, here we are. This is very uncommon of a of a think about our ages here. You got me in my 50s. You got LE in his mid 20s. Lex and Connor are both 11, almost 12. And where do we find ourselves pretty much any time that we're all together? The pool hall.
Yeah.
Playing pool.
I want to get one for here, but we have to build a room first to be able to.
Oh, our cats would sleep on it, pee on it. We would not. That would not work here, unless we had a cover or something to cover it up. But if we ever forgot, because it could only go in the shop.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I often thought about a dartboard, making our shop into like one little section of it, like a little lounging place.
Yeah. That's what I kind of envisioned for like the center. Like if I was gonna create my wall, that kitchenette, then the center would be like our rec room, I guess you could call it, and then on the right side putting my nursery / dog room.
Yeah, yesterday, believe it or not, we sometimes mess around when we're playing pool and do stuff. But yesterday, I don't know why. I guess LE felt something, and he says, "Hey, Connor, record this." It was his game versus mine. Now, the thing is, the week before, so LE is very competitive. He has always been super, super competitive. And he's that way with everybody, not just me, everybody. LE is just one of those types of guys, which is fine. It's great. The problem is last week I don't know what it was, but I just had the magic touch and I just dominated our match between LE and myself. And so it was kind of shocking that this week LE wants Connor to record our game. And I don't know why, but LE ended up winning the game. I played my hardest.
Did he like go to G's and play on the mini table all week?
No, what he did was watch stupid YouTube videos and realize he was hitting wrong. He was, when you play pool, you don't look at that little hole the whole time. You line it all up and then you focus on where you're gonna hit that ball, like in golf. You know where it has to go, but you're not watching that hole when you hit the ball. You're watching that ball. And so LE had always hit, well, at least from what he says, he was guilty of watching the hole like a 22 rifle where you want to try to line up the hole with the little, and he was trying to do that when he plays pool. And that's kind of like when you go bowling, you don't watch the pins, do you?
No, you watch the arrows.
You look at the pins, you line yourself up, and then you look at the arrows. So anyway, bottom line is LE learned a YouTube secret of how to play pool properly, and he beat me. He didn't kick my butt, but he did win. But now you're all going to have to end up watching that video at some point of LE beating his dad in pool. And I'm so embarrassed, but it is what it is. But what was funny is now Lex, this is here. So this is why it's so weird. You have LE who just wants to go play pool so bad. Lex is over there dancing. Okay. Lex and Connor are doing dancing. And there's this dumb little dance. I'm going to have to end up doing it, even though I don't want to. It's the dumbest dance that these kids are all doing. Now, it's not the first time that I've seen it happen. I also sometimes will go through the TikToks and whatever. And so I've seen this dumb dance several times.
Let me see it.
But how shocked was I? I'm not going to do it right.
Come on, let me see you try.
Okay, I'm going to look like an idiot, though. I know I'm going to look like an idiot. But when I was playing pool.
Because that's never happened.
No, but here's the thing. What does every dad do in front of his kids when he really wants to get them good? You embarrass them. So it was okay whenever Lex would make a shot and he would do his dance. How crazy was it whenever Lester would do something and then I'd begin to do the exact same dance? Here we are in this place is the weekend. It's packed. there's families and kids, and there's people everywhere. And here's this dumb guy playing pool with his kids.
Let me see.
And after I would make a shot, I would do that stupid dance, and it made Ellie, and Ellie was fine. Ellie was like, he didn't care. But Lex and Connor were so embarrassed. And so it was the funniest thing. Okay, it's not really a dance more than it's like a little move. It's like this little.
Let me see your one move.
It's a jiggy kind of a move. Oh my gosh.
You're going to have to go out in the grass.
Huh?
You have dog hair all over you.
I'm not really dressed for this.
You have to go out to the grass back here.
No.
Back it up there, Morrow.
I'm really embarrassed about this. Like,
let me see it over here first.
Yeah, can I practice first?
Yeah, let me see.
Okay, hold on. Okay, I'm going to come across the screen doing it.
You can't. You got to go out there. You got to see the feet. Come on.
Jamie, I'm going to do it wrong in the grass. Turn the camera down a little bit. I look like I'm top heavy. Okay. So the boys would make a shot, and then they go. I don't know what this means.
Oh, somebody said, he's doing the gritty. What the heck does that mean?
Who said that?
Somebody over here.
Where?
Noetic concordance.
No, huh?
Noetic concordance. Go up. The Denman Homestead is watching too. Oh my God.
Connor can do this. Denman Homestead, go get the boys to do it. They're probably at
They're not awake. It's 9 a.m.
They're not awake. Listen, Connor and Lex were doing that little move, and I'm thinking, maybe is Kaden there? Maybe Kaden will do it for us, or Laura. If the Denman Homestead could join, that would be so funny.
Buddy can probably do it.
It's called the gritty. I can't catch it. Jamie, you're gonna have to go to YouTube and find the gritty. So people, how do y'all know that? I thought we were all at this. I thought that most of us were around the same. You know what I said earlier about that whole thing about chemistry? How do y'all know about the gritty?
It's a football thing.
It's
Justin Jefferson gritty edit. That
looks nothing about what. Wait, he just did it. Yeah, that's what I did. That's what I just now did. Ain't that what I just did?
Yeah.
So I was doing the gritty then. So I can do the gritty. You just keep going. I'm going to do the gritty across the back of this room. Keep talking, Jamie.
I can't talk.
How come you're not talking?
I have no words right
now. So anyway, here we were in a very busy and crowded pool room and a bar, and I'm over there doing the gritty. Every time I would make a shot, and the boys were just hating me. They hated me. Well, Ellie was fine. Ellie doesn't care anymore. Ellie used to care. And now
Ellie's like me, just numb to it. Like
Ellie is numb to it. He's been desensitized to his dad. But now Lex and Connor were just hating me. God, they hated me. But I'm like, I'm just doing the gritty or whatever. I'll tell you what, it's funny that y'all know that stuff. The boys are constantly sharing things, and I have no idea what it means. Now, when I would teach school, I kind of stayed up on the terminology, right? But now, thank you, Sandy, for sharing that with us, the gritty. I'm afraid that YouTube is going to be overloaded with people our age looking for the dance, the gritty. And what's going to happen is your YouTube's going to listen to you. And now if you're not careful, you go look up the gritty. Next thing you know, every time you go to your YouTube to look at other videos, it's going to keep showing you dance moves of the gritty. That's what happens. Your phone does listen to you.
It's going to be something.
Yeah, you never want to go to a site on your phone or any computer that collects cookies. They call it cookies. They collect cookies, I think they call that, where they get little ideas of what kind of stuff you like to look at. And then you don't even realize it. You open up a video and it's just going to suggest all this stuff to you. And you're like, no.
Like that one time when the Always commercial was played on every one of your ads.
No, that's not what happened. That's similar. But what I would do, I would voice text. But I'm a teacher. So whenever I voice text, I always include the punctuation. Hey, Dan, comma, what are you doing today? ? question mark. So I always include, I want to make sure that when it types it out, it's grammatically correct. So the problem is I kept voice texting, but at the end of a sentence, I would say, period. I'm going to the store, period. Be home in about 20 minutes, period. I love you, period. Next thing you know, every time I go to
it was months.
Every video that would pop up would be about always.
All the feminine products.
Yeah.
Making moves. I can still sing this song.
Making moves.
Because every ad on his phone was feminine products from him saying, period. I love you, period.
Yeah, so they must have thought, oh my God, so whoever the AI in there, whenever they hear, okay, we need some ideas. What kind of ads are we going to play for this guy, Lester Morrow? And all they see in the whole list are all these things about period. Oh, well, that's easy. Always.
He's always on his period,
apparently. This guy's always. And they just, even the AI was like, overload, help. The AI is like going crazy. The little robots in there who do all that kind of stuff. We're trying to like did not understand. Nothing matched up. Longhorn Lesterish periods. Can you imagine?
How do you know that Lester's had more than a cup of coffee today?
Huh?
What?
By the way, my coffee's almost empty.
Shocker.
Anyway, what's wrong with you? I still want Stephanie or Buddy.
I think they decided to leave us. They're like, nope, not it. We're not doing it.
Bud was scared he's going to have to do the gritty, I bet. No, they haven't messaged me to say send them the link or anything.
No. The Denman Homestead says I'm here.
So does anyone want to do the gritty over at your house, Steph or Buddy? We need someone to demonstrate the proper way to do the gritty. And we could invite you guys in. Steph's probably like saying, I haven't put on my makeup yet, Buddy. I'm not going to do it.
Steph is stunning 24 hours
I
a day.
agree. And Bud's so lucky. He can just do this.
I got to their house the other day to pick up a package. And he had a shirt on that says rub some dirt on it. And I was like, that's really really iconic to Morrow Hill in general. Like most of the kids don't wear, I've never seen any of the Morrow Hill kids have a Band-Aid on or be the super need coddled anything. Like if anybody falls or anything, it's kind of just like, just get back up. Nobody makes a big deal about it or anything like that. So it's very like Morrow Hillish of just rub some dirt on it.
So I'll tell you a funny story, but it's also scary, and I'm also blessed. This is a powerful story, and it's about Connor. Listen how scary life can be, and I have to have a talk with Connor when I see him. Stephanie and Buddy, don't be mad. I will handle this. I promise. Last night, I drive up the sanctuary driveway and I drop off LE. My plan was to take Lex and Connor back over to Gigi's house. I start pulling up and Connor goes, wait, I forgot my e-bike is here. So Connor gets out to go get on his e-bike. So now it's just Lex and I in the car. So we're driving up the driveway, and the driveway is narrow. And I'm about to turn into my mom and dad's, make that turn. And all of a sudden, now you can't see anything, but your car, I was in Jamie's vehicle, your blinker, not your blinker, but on your mirror, it'll flash yellow if you're about to turn into something, right? How crazy is it that as I begin to turn, it starts flashing yellow? So I kind of like stop, and here comes Connor on his bike. And he goes between me and he darts. Yes. So believe it or not, I wasn't driving fast, but you don't have to be driving fast to hurt somebody, obviously. But Connor, instead of passing me on the outside away from my turn, passed me on the inside where I was turning into. And so your little mirror, with that little flashing thing that comes on your mirror, it's a safety thing. Whew, it really saved me.
There's the Denman Homestead. She's like, oh no.
No. Steph, I will talk to him. I promise I will. We had a great night last night, so I didn't want to ruin it by saying, Connor, you blah, blah, blah. So I just let it go. But I will have a long talk because that was really scary. And like I said, I wasn't driving fast, but I'm just glad that I just happened to notice that flashing yellow, because I would have turned right into, and maybe even turned into them, which is so scary.
Yeah.
But those little e-bikes are fast. That little e-bike called up to us and passed us up.
Dang.
So, but Connor had no idea. He never realized how close he came to his uncle bumping into him. but
Sheesh.
scary. I know, you had no idea. Scary moments.
Dang,
So now Connor owes us the gritty. He owes us the gritty dance.
clearly. But he's at G's house asleep.
Not today.
Connor's coming on a week off of spring break. So Connor's already had his spring break. All the kids in that school district did. Lex hasn't had his yet. Something that is starting this week that I'm excited for is we don't have tickets yet or anything like that, but it is Houston Rodeo Week. It starts on Tuesday, and if you are from around here, it is something that's like the biggest event in Houston. We've been twice. We went twice, right?
Garth Brooks. We wanted to see Garth's final performance.
And then Luke Combs,
which was horrible compared to Garth Brooks. It was the worst show.
We had
ever.
a really great. Garth Brooks was one of our first like big dates. Like that was the first.
It was your
months.
First rodeo.
Yeah, it was.
Wasn't my first rodeo, but it was Jamie's first rodeo.
But they do this trail ride to kick off the rodeo, and Lester saw it the other day, and then Stephanie sent it. We have a family messenger group message, and a trail ride is like all of these people on horseback and wagons and everything, and it's kind of a significance of rodeo kickoff. They ride to the rodeo, and like I've been seeing a lot of posts and things about that, and I don't know, I'm excited to go, and not for the concert. Like I have no desire to go back to the concert part of the rodeo. I want to go because I want to go see the rodeo part, and I want to go see the animals, and like I had told Lester, like, my ask this year is that we both take the afternoon off and go walk around the fairgrounds and do that type of thing, and then see the rodeo part and leave before the concert. So,
which is why I told her in that case, you should wait till this is going to sound horrible, but the performer who sells the cheapest tickets, we will go that night to the performer who sells the cheapest tickets. Because we're not going to stay for the show anyway. We're just going to go see because all the other stuff is the same. It's just the actual show will have less people, and it will be the better night to be able to have better seats. We can afford better seats probably. But, funny story about Garth Brooks compared to Luke Combs. Now, I'm not huge into country music. I know you're more than I am, but the differences in Garth Brooks and Luke Combs
was not the music.
No, but here's what I'm going to say. But think about their careers. Is Luke Combs even still around?
Oh, yeah, big time.
I wouldn't say big time. He's not a Garth Brooks big time.
Well, Garth Brooks is a 35-year veteran of it.
But what I was going to say is, remember the shows. Garth Brooks was inspirational. It could have been his experience on stage. Absolutely. But his show was a true experience.
Yeah.
Luke Combs wanted to drink beers the whole time. Just pop a beer.
It was when
someone
Luke
throw me a beer.
First came out, and he was not a performer.
Not a showman at all.
Yeah.
And for us to have thought, we enjoy a few of his songs, but all he wanted to do was talk about beer drinking.
It was also
him and his buddies beer drinking.
Lester was still teaching. We got stuck in traffic on the way there, so we missed the mutton button. Is that how you say that at the beginning? Mm-hmm. We missed that part of the rodeo because we got there late. Like it was, and then the show was. We expected to walk in and have a show like Garth Brooks, and I still love Luke Combs. I love his music, all the things. It just wasn't the same. And then the next year was COVID.
And then COVID.
So that didn't happen. And so they didn't have the rodeo that year. And then we just haven't, like, our schedules and things have not aligned, and we've always had too much going on because it is quite the drive and it goes very late. Like those nights, I don't think we got home until 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning because it's traffic there, then the event, and then getting out of the parking lot plus traffic, an hour and a half drive home. So it's a significant commitment to time to be able to do it. So we haven't found ourselves back there. But now this year I'm like, I want to go, but I want it to be an afternoon kind of thing.
Yeah. So it's always difficult, for our lifestyle to say that we enjoy things like the rodeo. The same way for our lifestyle to sit here and say, oh, today we're having chicken for dinner, when in fact, Jamie loves chickens. Or today, boy, I had a delicious plate of sausage or brisket and sausage from the barbecue place, being that we have cows and pigs that we love and we all, and so a lot of people have had a hard time with the fact that we don't practice being vegetarians and all of that. Even though we say not, left and right, we don't eat our animals. We never eat our pig Trudy. We never eat our big Tex,
No.
But a lot of people are also that way about rodeos. They feel like going to an event like a rodeo is supporting the abuse of animals. And I guess they would mean by roping a cow or, riding around the arena on a wagon, or even the little kids get on the backs of your favorite part of the rodeo is the mutton busting. These little kids,
they ride a sheep
because I think they have to be under 5 years old.
Yeah.
So they're little bitty kids, y'all. They're so cute because little kids are cute anyway. Then you put a helmet on them and little Wranglers. You find a little kid and you put a pair of boots and Wranglers and a little helmet over their head. And they all have their little shirts tucked in. It's just the cutest thing. And then they're crying. And then you add crying to that mix because they cry out of emotions. Little kids will cry from emotions or maybe falling off the sheep. And then some kids, I know they cry because they think they've let their mom and dad down.
Yeah.
And that hurts me the most when that mom and dad is the one that's screaming, hollering, driving force, get on that sheep and ride it or whatever. And they feel they let their mom and dad down. I'm sorry. You heard that so many times because what happens is whenever the kid falls off, the first thing that happens is the announcer and the video guy runs up to them, picks them up off the ground, pulls their helmet off because people love to capture that moment. Yeah. And most times it's tears. But in those tears, those little kids are looking for their mommy and daddy. They have a microphone in their face and they tell their parents they're sorry. Yeah. And that breaks my heart to think that mom and dad was the driving force to make that kid get out there and get your butt on that.
I know we saw a little girl it was the second year we went. And she was riding that sheep and she stayed on longer than the actual event went on. And
they couldn't catch her in the sheep.
They could not catch either one of them. And we were giggling so hard because it was done.
That little girl and that sheep finally gave up. That sheep, what is it called out when you can break a horse? If you've seen TV, I don't know if y'all
sheep just started to back up to the person. That little girl was just holding on
what
like
do I do? Where do you want me to go?
It was so cute.
What do I do? And that little girl was just sitting there waiting for someone to come get her. But that sheep had ran so far that it took a long time for the crew. And then as the crew would get close, the sheep would keep going. That little girl just stepped hold. She broke that sheep. They should have given that sheep to her.
I know.
That little ram or sheep, whatever. I don't know.
Anyway, so that's happening this week, and I'm excited to go. And if it's not your thing, it's not. It happens once a year, and for us, I just want to go. We've never been to the stockyards to see any of the animals. I want to do that. Like I want to experience more than the main event.
Yeah, y'all. So just know that we don't eat our meat and we don't rodeo our meat. Okay.
No. Just whenever our animals create a rodeo for us.
They create plenty of rodeos for us, y'all.
Yeah. So I intend to bring y'all along to that. And then something else big happened yesterday. You want to talk about that?
Something big that happened yesterday. You mean the AC duct getting repaired?
No. I mean your brother.
Oh. Ooh, that was huge, but I don't know. Should we let Daniel and Luke talk about that first? You talk about it, so it'll be you, not me.
Oh, okay.
Let me tell a funny story. No, go ahead.
So yesterday, we had been talking about this for a while, and Dan and Lou decided to come over yesterday because they wanted to feel things out. But they came over. Oh, Dan already told everybody this morning.
Okay, so Dan this morning already talked about it, so we're good to go.
They knew that they wanted some more goats, and they wanted to try to raise baby goats. And we had been bottle feeding Tilly's babies, and we had been really the feeding was exclusively this mama right here. And
I did it the entire time you were gone on vacation.
Hold on, I meant not Tilly.
Oh yeah.
And I would bring them back out and try to keep them as goats. That was part of the plan. But in reality, the second that I would walk out there to those babies, Tilly would run and hide and didn't want them to find her. So we knew that it was not those babies were not getting the same experience as the rest of the herd and as Sissy's babies as well, and that Tilly was really unhappy. So Dan came over with the intention of maybe coming home with one goat. Tell him what happened, Lester.
Well, what happened was Kellyanne, with her little diaper, walks over there and took one look at Lou, and Lou takes one look at her, and Lou's like, "Well, we're getting Kellyanne," and Dan's like, "Wait, we want a little boy," and so Dan's like, "Well, we have to have a little boy," and Lou goes, "Well, we're not leaving without her," and so then Jamie's like, "Well, wait, you can't leave one baby alone," and so next thing you know.
Dan and Lou took home Tilly's babies, and
Tilly could not. Tilly,
I was just gonna say,
care less.
You're gonna think this is crazy, but Tilly is relieved, and I can say this with full honesty in my heart that every other mama that we have bottle fed their babies had a lot of stress in that departure, whether it was their inability to feed them all or our decision. And some of them would walk around yelling and you could hear them, and it was stressful, and I questioned a lot of times if we did the right thing. We're outside right now. Tilly is at that gate right now.
Yeah, Diane asked, has Tilly noticed yet? Diane, this was yesterday afternoon around 1:00 p.m. yesterday, Saturday, and Tilly could she doesn't care. Now, at some point, I don't know if she'll begin to feel pressure on her bag, but as of now, she is not.
I don't think that she was still feeding them, to be honest with you, because they ate the same amount that baby goats who were strictly bottle fed would eat, and she never once produced enough milk to sustain even just Greg, who was the best eater of them all. So, it was sad because they're my babies, but at the same time, I also know that Dan, Lou, Carter, Brinley, Cash, I also know that they're right here, and the door is always open for them to come back. And like, this is the first time I think really that our babies have gone to where we can still see them every single day.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to that as well.
And I know that Lou was able to bottle feed yesterday, and so they're looking forward to bottle feeding. And so that actually will help Tilly get back to normal.
Yeah.
As far as all of her female-y stuff. And then I'm sorry it's sad to so many people, but to us, we're excited about it. And
so here's the thing. Tilly, this is something that we have really recognized recently. Tilly, as you know, was raised in someone's house alone, and she prefers to be alone. She is not part of the herd, no matter which herd that we have put her with or which scenario. She prefers to be alone.
And that's what makes me sad, is knowing that Tilly had babies and didn't care to be a mom.
Yes.
And so that is probably the first time that I've ever seen that, because just the motherly instinct in the mom, even for our bottle fed babies, we already know, like, they're not always the best moms because they don't know, but at least they want to be moms.
Yeah.
Tilly
was not happy. Like, she was not enjoying it. In fact, she was stressed. And whenever we would go out to get the babies at night to bring them in, it was like a relief. Like, she sometimes would wait at the gate with those babies because she knew the routine of.
And then once we picked them, then off she would go. Something else, we also thought that Tilly would enjoy having babies to give her some companionship, because Tilly is a loner. And how shocked were we that once the babies were old enough, we'd take them out, Tilly would hide them, and she'd walk on off to the pastures, still alone, off to herself. But whereas Sissy would have her babies
put them with the herd,
no.
So we were also worried about, like, how's that going to work for them? Because we can't, like, you don't want divisiveness in your pasture to that caliber. And it was good that Dan and Lou had asked and were interested, and while we were hesitant, especially me, more so me, we're excited for them to be able to have that experience as well.
Yeah, for the kind lady who says y'all are struggling trying to explain yourselves, kind lady, we're not going to explain ourselves to anything. We're telling you our reasoning behind it. And you can take it or leave it or shove it if you would rather me put it in those words. We're not going to.
It's not going to change.
It's not going to change. It was our decision. Now we're telling you why we did it, how we did it, and the effects of it. We've made some bad decisions. We've made a lot of good decisions. And so it was our decision. Daniel and Lou now have 3 beautiful bottle-fed baby goats that Jamie kickstarted into bottle feeding that Tilly was unable to. Tilly's doing back to her norm.
Listen, if we would have
we're
let
not
Mother
having-
Nature just happen in the beginning with Tilly, those 3 babies, I do not believe genuinely would be alive. Genuinely. If we did not step in and bottle feed and do the things that we had to do, because we're humans and we're the higher being here, sometimes we have to make decisions for our animals and to be able to step in and help whenever necessary. And that goes for every animal we've had.
We have had to rehome a few here and there.
Yeah.
And that hurts us, because we kind of try to offer them the best life possible. But we also know if that best life is not the best for all involved, sometimes we have to make tough decisions on that. But I would say that most animals that have come here have really done very well with us.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think there's many that have come here that have not. Rita is, in my opinion, going to be our biggest challenge yet, even harder than Carl, because what we've learned is how to work around Carl. Would you agree?
Mm-hmm.
We've learned how to work around Carl, yet still give Carl what we hope is an amazing life. He's very well fed. He gets all that he needs as far as his nutritional things go. He has friends. He has a family. He's an ostrich, and we're not ostrich trainers. We're not zookeepers. He's an ostrich. Yet now there's a family of 5 who live out there that are doing very darn well, and they're able to run and chase and sometimes breed and dance. And I think that most people would agree that, man, them ostriches look to be living a pretty darn good life. There's shade, there's clean, fresh water. They help protect our babies from predators. They give us so many hours of entertainment and joy and laughter and and so, there have been a few babies here and there we've had a hard time learning to adjust with and adjust to, but sometimes decisions have to be made to move them along here and there.
And we wouldn't have if it was. I don't think we would have if it wasn't Dan and Lou.
No, we didn't go on the marketplace. Who wants some goats? Someone, please come get these goats. Oh no, it was Dan and Lou who told us that Ellie had backed out on them.
Yeah.
Ellie had offered them some goats, and then Ellie and Megan just decided they just can't give them up, and that's fine. They're young, they fall in love, and so we says, well, Dan, don't worry. We got a few goats. We got plenty of goats, and we will have plenty more, y'all.
Yeah,
but we love baby goats. So does Dan and Lou. So good luck to all of them.
So you can catch those triplets on Daniel Morrow Outdoors. Right? That's the name of the channel, right?
It is, even though I wish he would change that channel name. Patty Cake Baker Dan is not taken. It would be a great name for his channel, but it is what it is. Well, listen, we are at our hour. What else is going on this week? Are we going live tonight again?
I don't know. Depends. I have a very busy day planned for us. I know that you have no idea what I'm talking about, but we're about to embark on a very extensive journey today together. It's going to be so fun. It's going to be so fun. So I don't know do you want to go live again tonight?
I like going live, but I don't want to bore anybody. Rita is a strong-willed horse. Do you know who's actually the stronger willed horse in that entire pasture? Let's offer that up for a question here. So there's Voodoo, Bucky's, Rita, and Stormy. Who do y'all think, from what you know, might be the strongest willed horse in that entire pasture?
They know.
Oh, they know. How do y'all know?
They know.
How do you all know this? Did you talk about this?
Mm-hmm.
My friends, if you're
seeing it in videos that
if
I'm posting.
You're saying Stormy, you are absolutely right. One of the craziest things that I witnessed with my own eyes.
I haven't posted that video yet, so don't tell it all.
Okay,
don't
never
tell
mind.
It all.
Darn it,
but
Jamie.
Do you know Miss Pat and Dave called me afterwards because they were outside and heard and felt the ground shake from that, and
the ground shaking. It was a ground.
That's
shaking
tomorrow's
moment.
video, y'all.
Oh, I want to talk about it. It was so good. But
you can talk about it.
No, I'm not.
Go ahead.
So Jamie's video will actually show it. I'm over here with the ostriches and the goat playground. And I heard, well, Jamie had walked over to get Rita to do her normal daily routine, and Stormy wasn't having it. And she ran up and she was, they call that neighing. She was screaming at the top of her lungs. And this entire quiet little neighborhood, all of a sudden, all the lights begin to come on like on a TV show, and everyone's looking out the window and people are looking around with their shotguns. No, Stormy was screaming and running circles around Jamie and
I took
Rita.
her baby, is what.
Because, yeah. And then when Jamie had to stop and put up her hand to tell Stormy, go away, peace be still, all of a sudden Stormy got mad and ran over to the boys and began to circle them.
She rallied the troops.
Come on, boys, let's get them. And they created their own OK Corral gunfight over here. And it was, I don't want to give away the funniest part of this whole story. I got to give away one more. I got to give away one more thing. So as Stormy runs over to rally the troops, Bucky's looks up, because I think Bucky's loves Stormy. He looks up, his tail goes up, he puts his chest out, and he looks at her like, okay, let's go. And all of a sudden, here comes Stormy and Bucky's up.
They're going to go save
Rita. And Voodoo's like, and back to the ground.
Voodoo is the old man of like, nothing really is going to excite him anymore. He doesn't care. Just don't take away his food. And he's good with everything. But I can't wait to show you all the video, because there were times where I couldn't video because so much was going on. But I captured this moment that was just incredible. And Miss Pat and Mr. David called because they're like, something's wrong with the horses.
Something's wrong with the horses.
Something's wrong with the horses. She said, I'm outside trimming my apple tree, and I hear like Stormy is losing her mind. And she goes, she just ran up front and she's circling the boys, like something's wrong. Yeah. And we don't see Rita. And it was just really, it was neat, because that showed me that they really have bonded significantly.
Yep.
And even though they drive each other nuts, like they really do drive each other nuts, they belong together. And there's some other things that have happened over the past couple days that I've been videoing. We tried some stall alignment, and I initially thought that putting Stormy and Rita across from each other was the right path, and let me tell you, that was not the right path.
You made a mistake, and you're admitting it.
I made a mistake. And
so the thing is, if they're side by side, they want to touch each other. Mm-hmm. But if they're across, they can only see each other. It's not enough.
That wasn't enough. Oh. They need to be together. And if they aren't, holy moly. Oh. Holy moly. Yeah.
That's neat.
It's really special, the bond that has, like I know a lot of horse people are like, that's called buddy sour. That's called buddy sour. Okay.
Don't tell me we have to break it. I don't want to break something else. No. Don't make us break buddy sour.
No. It's just really amazing to me that here we have Rita, who was brought to us and really was this, I would say, lost little soul.
She was a loose cannon is what she was.
Yes,
she was a wildling.
But she wasn't learning things from Bucky's and Voodoo.
Can they call that feral? Don't they call that feral?
She was very feral.
She was feral. Yeah, she's a teenage girl, typical teenage girl, says Naomi.
And they weren't really teaching her or taking any ownership. They would let things happen around her and almost let her do whatever she wanted. And then here comes Storm, who takes no crap whatsoever and is very much like, I thought, annoyed a lot. But at the end of the day, there is a love relationship there that is just an incredible bond.
Are you sure it wasn't jealousy?
I'm wait till you see some of it in this video. Like, it's not jealousy. Rita is subservient to Storm, but in a very special way.
Yeah.
Like, really special way. So, and Storm is only 4 years old. So it's not like she's never had a baby. She's never, nothing like that. It's just, it tells me about Storm's mother and her experience and the things that Rita probably never had.
Well, that will be on Jamie's channel. Now, a lot of people are saying I've already seen it. So what you saw was my perspective from a long way across the pasture. Because it's true, I did see that happening, and I did video from my perspective, but you're not able to see near on mine what you can see from her. So don't take mine as I've already seen it. I've already seen it.
It's okay if you don't want to watch it. I watched it 100 times already, and I'm still like, it was really big.
Oh,
So.
goodness gracious. So big day coming up on Tuesday. This morning, oh gosh, two funny things happened overnight this morning. When we first woke up this morning, you said, "What's happening on Tuesday?" And I'm like, "Nothing." And you're like, "You told me it's happening on Tuesday." And I'm like, "No, nothing." I forgot. Tuesday is a huge day for us.
I told you. You told me something was happening.
I just remembered our fertilizer and our lime. So the feed store down the road over here, Richardson's Ag and Outdoors, we've used them for a few things, mostly the buggy, the feed buggy. Those folks, they have found us fertilizer. We're going to rent one of their buggies, and we will be putting fertilizer on the J&L and the I'm a Survivor pastures, who've not been fertilized in a long time because you could not find fertilizer for years. It was with the Ukraine stuff going on. Supposedly they could not import any fertilizer. So finally we have fertilizer, and we're going to be doing both of those pastures. They also have us a buggy full of lime for this pasture here at Longhorn Lester's. So you guys know that that's been a pH balance with our soil. And so we're nervous about it. We don't know what's going to happen, but we did get all of the things that we needed ordered. And so Tuesday is going to be a really big day, a busy day for me. I'll be pulling buggies here, then pulling buggies there, then pulling buggies.
I knew something was happening on Tuesday.
Yeah, that's a lot of me
like,
pulling buggies to all the pastures. So we're going to hope for no rain so that all the pastures are dry. And then we will hope to get all that stuff spread, and then we can get some rain after that. But my gosh, y'all, pasture maintenance season is coming. And it's coming fast. So we're so blessed to have found some really great folks at a wonderful feed store.
We're good till Wednesday. Wednesday's gonna rain. That's actually perfect.
That would be perfect to rain.
And only 1/10 of an inch, so a good sprinkle afterwards. That's perfect.
That's the giddy. That's the chair giddy. Oh, we could teach a new dance for the older folks, the chair giddy.
You mean us?
Us. Set that camera up.
No, I can't see it.
Don't worry about it. It's okay. It's not coming out like I hoped anyway. It's not coming out the way I hoped. Never mind. It did not.
Sweet baby Jesus.
Listen, I felt like it looked really cool in my head. And then when I actually saw it on the camera, I'm like, no, turn the camera off. Turn the camera off. It's not that cool. It's not that cool. Lester, it looks like you need to pee. Listen, it's like chair yoga, y'all. It's like chair yoga. There really was a program for a long time. It came on right before Barney and Friends. I know this because I forgot if it was Lex or Ellie. One of them was at the age where they loved Barney. It had to have been Ellie, I think.
Yeah, it couldn't have been Lex.
So what I would do is at 3:00, I'd make sure I was in there ready to watch Barney and Friends with Ellie. And right before it come on, this other show was going off of this lady in it who was older, who would do chair exercise. Everybody, and all these older folks are sitting in their chairs. They're getting exercises in, all from the chair. So I thought a chair giddy for folks who like to stay hip. Gritty. So the chair gritty for folks who are
Lester
older.
Eugene Morrow. Somebody use your
Lester Eugene Morrow Jr. You need to hush it up. Shut your pie hole and move on. All I'm saying is there are people who are older who don't really want to get up and move like that, who could still get up and move if we just had a chair version, the chair gritty. It was a fun idea, okay?
It's fun. It's really fun.
Here's the thing. How many people do you think are watching this right now who are somewhere around their house trying to do their own version of the chair gritty? We would never know, but could y'all admit it? By just putting your hand in the air or by saying me? There you go. Here they come. Thank you very much. Here's a lady who's 57.
It isn't me. I swear it's not
There's
me.
a lady who's 57 who's doing
no
the chair.
one.
Who said no one?
A lot of people.
Y'all are watching the wrong channel then, because I'm seeing a lot of people who are doing it. And if you're not, everybody together now. In your chairs. Everybody sit back nice. You sit back. You're not blaming if you fall out your chair.
We said goodbye 10 minutes ago.
Okay. So the fingers go like this over here. This is your fingers. Flip them up. You got to flip them up. Ready? Flip up, flip up, flip up. That's a workout right there in your shoulders. So we're going to flip up our fingers into this position. And I think that these go over your eyes like this. I think that's what they're doing. Can you pull up that video again?
That guy didn't do that.
I think he did do that.
He didn't do that.
I'm pretty sure I saw Connor and Lex do that. Just find gritty vid dance.
Here's the gritty tutorial.
Okay, so there's a gritty tutorial. Let's show it to everybody and we're all going to do it.
Hold on. It's too long. Hold on.
Just go to the short version.
This guy did not do that.
Well, he's running with a football.
I know. Hold on. See, he does his hands like that.
So clap your hands and put you there.
He did it.
So everyone, clap your hands. Jamie, join me.
I'm not doing this.
This might be a new YouTube channel. You never know. Lester and Jamie's chair dancing. Chair dancing with Jamie. So clap your hands. Clap your hands. Just clap.
Okay,
clap,
this is the part where I'm going to say goodbye to y'all.
Jamie,
because Lester has had half a pot of coffee.
Jamie.
Clearly, the bigger the cup,
and my feet are moving
worse
too.
this
my
is.
feet are moving.
I love y'all so very much.
Y'all do the chair.
I hope you have a fabulous Sunday. We have a lot coming up this week, and we promise to bring y'all along with us.